Hip Hop since 1987. We're live in Atlanta, and right now I'm with the multi-talented Simmonds. We appreciate you taking the time out to do this interview with us today.
Thank you,
man. This beautiful studio, we've been looking and making a lot of comments on how nice it is in here today. So we definitely appreciate you taking the time out to mess with us.
Absolutely.
Singer, songwriter, excuse me, you do so much in the music business right now.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you and what your history is.
I'm from the Virgin Islands. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people, they hear the accent and the music a little bit, so they don't really know it. They just like, it sounds a little different. You know what I mean? They don't really know what it is, but that's what it is. I'm from the Virgin Islands, so that's number one. And I've been doing music, all my life, man. I've been writing music, producing music as well as being an artist. For me, it's just something that, I always had a passion for. I never, some people find their way into their path in life. I feel like I always knew what I wanted to be and knew what I wanted to do, so I always just attacked that. You know what I mean? I never really had like, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then found myself doing music. I always did music. You know what I mean? I always either writing music or singing music, something. So I've been in the music industry, man, since like '03 now, and I've written records for Jay-Z and Kanye, and I have a production company called The Juggernauts, and me and my partner Sock Passe, we produce records for Rihanna as well. I just came from LA. I was working on Chris Brown's album, so I got a couple records on his album now that he's about to put out in a couple months. I've written for R. Kelly as well, K. Michelle. I've written for a lot of people in the industry, you know what I mean? And I just always been doing my thing. Some people know me from Buy You Around. That's the first record I did as an artist that people might know me for, and I've just been rocking since then. Buy You Around, then I did Boo Thing with Kelly Rowland.
That was a big hit.
Yeah, Boo Thing with Kelly Rowland, with the beautiful, gorgeous Kelly Rowland. What's up, baby? come see me. Yeah, you know what I mean? But I did a few records for her, man, and I just been grinding, man.
Yeah, I definitely see you grinding. And I know you have an album that you're working on, it'll be coming out soon, 1996. Now you briefly you kind of described to me where you got that title and that whole concept from.
Yeah.
Why don't you elaborate a little bit more on what 1996, what that title means to you?
Well, the title 1996 for me is kind of like, I put it in the terms of, in 1996 love died. And the reason I say that is because I think that those years between 95 and 96, especially for black music, were real, like, I want to say life-changing, you know what I mean? In 95, Pac died. In 96, Big died. Or 96, 97, whichever one, something like that. And I just felt like the music kind of changed, you know what I mean? It was about passion and being, a real, true artist at one point. And after that point, it kind of just went to where it was like about the flash and the pictures and the cars and which was, you know what I mean? I think that was important for our music generation at the time because we were becoming younger, you know what I mean? As far as music, we had a new sound, a new genre of music when hip hop and R&B just started to kind of fuse with each other around that time. But I think what was lost was like the real passion behind the music where it was some kind of feeling and emotion behind it. We still had great records that was coming out, you know what I mean, all through the 90s.
Yeah, that was a golden era.
Yeah, we still had great records all entirely through the 90s, so I'm not saying that it lost it throughout the 90s, but I think around 96 is really kind of where it just clicked and changed and became more about like, get money. You know what I mean? By all means, get on. It's about the flash. It's about the, the fashion, the style, which has become a part of hip hop that we know it today. You know what I mean? So the reason I named the project 1996 is because I kind of wanted to take it back to where the music had a real feeling. Like, you know what I mean? Like it really evoked a real feeling when you hear it. You feel like, man, you can remember where you was at the time. You can remember, you know what I mean, who you were dating at the time. You know what I mean? And that's what music's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to my genre of music, because I'm like a singer / whatever else people want to call me, but I like to make music that people can feel. So 1996 is just basically a reflection of that. You know what I mean? It's still very current to today's time, but I feel like it's still something from that era that I kind of try to pull out of it. Is just that emotion and that good vibe that you feel when you were hearing music in the 90s.
How would you say your music differs from artists who aren't songwriters versus yourself being a songwriter? Like, do you get a different vibe? Do you hear something different? Are you able to tweak different things, different lyrics as you're creating the song? How does your music stand out and differ being a songwriter as well as an artist?
I think to me, when I write songs for myself and write songs for other people, is what the first thing I think about is where that artist is at in their career and what I think they need in their career at that time. For me, it's not really so much like, oh, well, just get them a smash record, because every smash record isn't gonna fit every artist. You know what I mean? Like, the wrong artist could do a smash record and then tank the record. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't the right person on that record. You know what I mean? So for me as an artist, I think as a songwriter, I'm a lot more aware of that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna tweak certain things for me as an artist when I'm writing my own stuff, because I'm thinking, okay, well, this isn't where I'm at in my career to be able to say this or put this like this. You know what I mean? So I always try to be, you know, somewhat relative to where I'm at with my artistry and what people know me for and already love from me, because I feel like you kind of have to grow. You know, you have to grow with your audience. You can't just expect that you're going to throw something out and they're going to be like, oh yeah, we rock with it because we rock with it. Nah, they want to grow with you. They want to see the evolution. And I think that sometimes people miss a step or a few steps trying to just chase a hit record. You know what I mean? It's got to be layers to it. It got to grow, and you got to build that foundation. So for me as a songwriter and coming into the industry as a songwriter, I think I pay a lot more attention to that and try to make sure that, you know, when I'm writing something for somebody else or writing something for myself, they all kind of fit what I think that artist needs at the time, you know?
Who are some fellow artists or producers that you've worked with for your project 1990?
I worked with right now Mel and Moose. They produce some stuff for Justin Bieber, some stuff for Rihanna, and a bunch of other people. Of course, my partner Sak Passe, he's on that project as well. C Note, a very well-known producer here in Atlanta as well. He do a lot of the, you know, a lot of the hip hop or rap stuff here in Atlanta as well. But most of it, man, most of it is me, man. Most of it is just, like I said, I wanted to be able to create records that people really feel, and so I had to kind of go in and start a lot of records on my own, and then I might bring another producer in to kind of help around it if need be, you know what I mean? But for the most part, it's just me and whoever else I feel like fit that sound that I'm going for. You know?
Who would you say were your influences in the music business when you were coming up that kind of inspired you to be who you are and help create who you are today?
Man, that's such a weird mix, man. Because I grew up in the Virgin Islands, right? So we listen to everything. Like, we listen to everything from reggae and calypso to pop music to R&B music. So, I mean, there's a lot of influences in my music. But, I mean, I pay a lot of attention to artists who are also songwriters as well. You know what I mean? So I pay a lot of attention to Babyface. I pay a lot of attention to Bob Marley. You know what I mean? I pay a lot of attention to Jay-Z and Nas. Like, the spectrum is really kind of just wide, because I always looked at music as, you know, not particularly at the artist, but more of the music the artist was putting out. You know what I mean? So at a young age, I was really like breaking songs down mentally in my mind. I didn't know the terminology of this was a hook or this was the verse or this was this, but I know where it's supposed to change. You know what I mean? I know where, okay, well, this is cool enough and I need to have a change here and it has to build here. You know what I mean? But I was never technically trained to play anything, or I don't have a big musical background behind me or anything like that. I'm the first in my family to ever really do music. You know what I mean? So, but I think it was just a natural thing for me to be able to understand, you know, how to put songs together. You know, so I looked at a lot of songwriters like Babyface and the work that he did for like Boyz II Men, and he was able to put together records on when you put together a soundtrack on a movie, and you could write like 15 different records for 15 different artists, and they all sound different and all fit each artist individually. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, you take a CD like Waiting to Exhale. When that came out at the time, Babyface produced it, and he wrote all those records. And you listen to it, he had songs on there with SWV, he had songs on there with TLC, he had songs on there with Mary J. Blige and everybody else. But it wasn't like, today you will have a songwriter who will write a song for all these different artists, but it sound like the same song. You know what I mean? And this is why I named the project 1996 as well, because even in an era like this, it's like he knew all these different artists had different personalities and were individuals, so he had to craft records specifically for them, and they couldn't sound like the next person's record. So that's a big problem I have in the industry too. Like, people be like, yo, so why you don't just do another Buy You Around, or why you don't do another boot thing, nigga? Because I did it already. I don't want to do that again. And I feel like as music, the industry make you have to, you know, they try to mold your mind into having to do that. Like, yeah, make a record like this, but they already did it, so why am I doing it? You know what I mean? So I try not to do that. I really am against that. So, you know, back to my musical influences. Those are some of my musical influences.
Now, you've already had the privilege of working with big names. You've been Grammy nominated already. Mm-hmm. What's next for you? What do you feel as though there's left in your career for you still to accomplish?
Man, it's a lot. It's so much. I still haven't put out an album yet. You know, I've never put out an album. I still don't have that Grammy. You know what I mean? I still don't have a #1 record. You know what I mean? So, in reality, it's really still the beginning of my career. I started it, like I said, I got into the industry in 2003, but really, like, my start is really like now. You know what I mean? My start is really like now, where people are really starting to take notice of all the hard work that I've been doing. You know what I mean? Like, I planted my seeds, and now they're starting to grow now. You know what I mean? So you can catch me on so many different types of records. Like, I've done a song with almost every street nigga in Atlanta. You know what I mean? And every R&B type of guy can't do that. You know what I mean? And stay connected with the streets. Like, all these real niggas that everybody consider real niggas, they fuck with me because that's what I bring in today's situation. Like, I'm attacking it like a real nigga would do, because that's who I feel like I am. You know what I mean? Not just because I do R&B music, I mean that I ain't with the shit. You know what I mean? I'm still out here in the streets with everybody else. So, you know, I just try to keep it grounded and just fuck with everybody that fuck with me.
1996 is right around the corner, but I understand you're pushing 2 singles right now.
Yeah.
Tell us about those singles, and also tell us what else we can look forward to seeing from you in the remainder of 2013.
I got 2 singles right now. One of them is a street single. It's called Who You With. It's featuring Yo Gotti, Young Scooter, Trouble.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? And that's been going hard. What's so crazy? I put that out, and I was just, to be honest, I just leaked it out online. I was like, you know, I'm just doing a song with the homies kind of thing. I wasn't trying to push it as a single. It was just one of those things like, I want to just throw this in the clubs and, you know, go fuck with the homies and shit like that. But then it really started to, like, it's been growing like fast. It's only been out like 2 or 3 weeks now, and like it's already starting to be really highly played in Atlanta. So that's a blessing. So that's great. And like I said, that's my street record that I'm pushing right now. And then I also have like a radio record called Fully Loaded, which is just, you know, me back on, you know, just doing what I do for the ladies, you know what I mean, getting them, you know, right to step out and go to the club and feel sexy and feel good about themselves, you know what I mean, because at the end of the day, man, somebody got to do it, because everybody's just talking about, you know, turn up. And I'm with it, like I said, you know, it's cool, but I feel like it's not enough balance. So, you know, I try to bring something a little different, something a little more sexy to the game, so the ladies could really feel, you know, like every chick ain't turning up with the mollies. I mean, you know, some of them want to put on a nice dress, some nice heels, and step out and feel good, you know what I mean? So I try to make that kind of music for them, you know?
You definitely do. We're looking forward to 1996, and you'll definitely be seeing a lot more from this gentleman on Hip Hop since 1987. If anyone wants to get out and reach you in the social media world, why don't you let them know how they can contact you?
Make sure you hit me. I'm on Twitter, on Instagram at Verse Simmonds. That's VERSESIMMONDS. You know, all my information is on there. It's easy to get in contact with me. Look out for my 1996 project coming this summer. My single Fully Loaded, Who You With, all that good stuff, man. Verse Simmonds. I'm out here, as you can see.
Verse Simmonds, hiphopsince1987.com. Log on. Shout out my man Rick Dane.
Shout my hip hop since 1987 niggas. Hip hop since 1987.com.